Welcome back, Red Devil fans, to Always United, where today we have tons of news for you guys, varying from the latest updates in regards to the Takeover to all the comments and takeaways from friendly match against Lyon, and we have got a few transfer news for you guys as well. I don't want to waste any of your time, so let's kick things off in this video with all the news and reports in relation to the friendly match against Lyon. Sure enough, the first thing that we need to talk about is Donny van de Beek's goal, which of course astonished a lot of people. There are already talks about how this goal and performance can revitalize his career. I don't want to get ahead of myself, personally speaking. Nevertheless, I'm extremely happy for Donny. It was a fantastic goal, and I have to say that as much as there have been news of him leaving the club, I hope he keeps up this great performance throughout the preseason tour and gets a second chance this season. Of course, we all love a comeback story, and it has happened in the past as well. Marcus Rashford, if you remember, was a player who no one believed, but now look at the player. Who says the same thing cannot happen with Donny? Let's wait and see how things will turn out for the player in the future. Now, after the match, Donny van de Beek got to discuss the mental challenges during his injury layoff and his goal-scoring return for Manchester United against Lyon. He said, and I quote, "It was great. My first game after 6 months, and I don't have to tell you that after such an injury, it was such a mentally difficult period for me and my family. To be back on the pitch was great, and of course, it is nice if you score a goal, but that's not the most important thing." Next to Donny, another player who stole the show was Kovar. He was the only player who wasn't substituted during the match. He was really comfortable with the ball at his feet, and there are already talks as to how he can serve the role of a number 2 next to Andre Onana as our goalkeepers. Ten Hag also got to talk about the match and reiterated that Manchester United players need to be more ruthless in front of the goal following his side's preseason victory over Lyon. Following the narrow 1-0 win over the French side, Ten Hag emphasized that the team needs to address a particular area of concern from last season, but express his contentment with the general performance. Here's what the coach had to say, and I quote, "I've seen a lot of positives, so it was enjoyable to watch. It was how we want to see our team, front foot, a lot of dynamics, be aggressive, so it was a very good game." He also added and said, "So first half, how we started, 3 massive chances from the start, but that is straight the criticism. You have to score. You have to net. That was already our problem last year, and we have to realize that. We have to be more ruthless and clinical in those situations." Next up, Ten Hag also had the opportunity to address why he has added Jonny Evans to the preseason tour. If you're not aware, Manchester United has signed a short deal contract with Jonny Evans to be part of Man United preseason, but there are already talks that Man United could extend his signing by 1 year. This move has caused some controversy among the fans of the club, and people are wondering why such a decision has been made. Erik ten Hag has insisted recently that Jonny Evans has quote-unquote big authority. Jonny Evans reportedly has impressed the United staff in training sessions following his departure from Leicester City at the end of 2022-2023 campaign, and will now help out the Red Devils during pre-season. Ten Hag stands firmly behind the player as he believes that the veteran centre-half who boasts of quote-unquote big personality can have a big impact by helping out the youngsters. Ten Hag regarding the matter said, and I quote, "Of course, I know about him for a long time. I know his place was in Manchester. We welcomed him to come and train with us to work on his fitness, and then I said, not all the players are in, the internationals were out, still on their break, so I thought it was a good idea to help each other out. Johnny can work on his fitness and also can help us with our level. We know he's a very experienced player, but also a very good person, big personality, and I think he has a big authority as well and can help the young players, especially in such moments. So it benefits all sides." It's also worth mentioning that Evans will be part of the club's upcoming tour of the United States. Our preseason tour, in case you're not aware, consists of a string of friendlies against Arsenal, Wrexham, Real Madrid, and Borussia Dortmund during the team's time in the US. Share your thoughts about Jonny Evans and whether you agree with his return to Manchester United or not. Now, before we move on, hit the like button if you enjoyed the win against Lyon yesterday. Also, consider subscribing to Always United for the latest Manchester United news. With all those things out of the way, let's touch on the latest when it comes to Manchester United transfers, and we want to kick things off with Fred. The latest reports are suggesting that the player has been left out of Manchester United preseason tour of the US, but ex-captain Harry Maguire will make the trip. Brazilian midfielder Fred, who has been linked with the transfer to Fulham, has not been included in the United's 31-man US tour squad. The transfer could be on the agenda for Fred, although United confirmed that the 30-year-old is expected to join with the rest of the squad once he has dealt with a quote-unquote personal issue. As we have talked previously, whether Fred joins up with the squad or not, his future looks uncertain. New signing Mason Mount will increase competition for midfield minutes, and many reports have suggested recently that Manchester United is open to selling the Brazilian. Next up, a lot of people are wondering if there are any new updates in regards to Rasmus Hoijland. Throughout our last video on the channel, we covered how Manchester United have reached personal agreement with the player, but an official bid is still to come. Fabrizio Romano has discussed recently how Manchester United staff are discussing internally the number for the opening offer offer for Rasmus Hoijland. As we have stated previously, Atalanta demands 70 million euros, but I think eventually some compromises will be made on both sides, and I don't reckon that will be the final number for the player. Romano also addressed the situation of Sofian Amrabat. The situation of Amrabat, any new center back, depends on some of the players departing the club and adding money to the budget. The number one option right now is a striker, and of course Rasmus Hoijland is a priority at the moment. Next up, Andre Onana has made some interesting comments after joining Manchester United. Andre Onana has admitted recently that a transfer to Manchester United was quote-unquote irresistible, and has also expressed how delighted he is over his imminent reunion with master Erik ten Hag. The goalkeeper has already landed in Manchester to seal his transfer from Inter to United. Before being formally unveiled as a United player, Onana spoke to Gazzetta dello Sport, where he admitted that the move to the Premier League was irresistible, but at the same time claimed that he would have been happy to continue at Inter if the transfer had fallen through. He said, and I quote, "The important thing is to be honest and always tell people the truth. I'm a person who always wants new challenges. Playing in the Premier League and for a club like United is irresistible. All parties wanted this to happen, but what matters is that if I had stayed, I would have been happy because I never had any problems at Inter. Now I really want to start this new experience, exciting and with a coach who for me is a master." He also added and said, "I will go to a great league and a great club which has a huge history just like that of Inter. I will start from scratch and give everything every day to show the new fans who I am." Onana of course missed out on the Champions League trophy by whisker after Inter's defeat to Manchester City at final, but he remains determined to win it with Manchester United. Regarding the matter, he said, and I quote, "Pride and sadness. You don't know how much I would love to bring the trophy to Milan, celebrate it with our people. We were close to touching it. We deserved it. We played against City head-on. Only details were missing, but this is football. Personally, I hope to win the Champions League with United, but I also hope that Inter replay a final and win it." It's needless to say that Onana is all set to be presented officially as a United player after he completes his medical at the club's training ground and signs all the relevant documents. He's expected to join the club's preseason tour of the United States. Now, last but not least, let's also touch on the situation of Manchester United's takeover process, which has taken longer than it should. Recently, Sir Ratcliffe has said that the takeover might carry on to next season. Ratcliffe wants to buy the club, but current owners, the Glazer family, are yet to respond to Ratcliffe's bid. The Guardian has recently reported that the 7-year-old British billionaire remains hopeful that a deal can be concluded, even if it means being patient. The takeover could happen during the course of next season, by which point it would be close to a year since the Glazers made it public that they were willing to listen to offers for the club. Honestly, I'm tired of the push and pull game that the Glazers are playing. If you've noticed, we're not covering the takeover news as much as we did in the past because nothing is for certain, and whenever official news gets released, we'll bring you guys all the latest details. As a Man United fan though, personally I don't care for the Glazers' behavior anymore. They've shown time and time again that they have no respect for Manchester United and its fans, and why should I waste my time on this channel talking about a bunch of corporate heads who are only thinking of making more money? Their behavior has been truly disrespectful towards both the buyers, Sir Ratcliffe, Sheikh Jassim, and more importantly, the fans, and I'm just sick of it. Regardless, let us know what you think of what Sir Ratcliffe has said about the takeover dragging on. And guys, that's a wrap for another video on the channel. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me until the end. Definitely share your thoughts with all the news that we talked in this video. I'm really curious to know what you make of them. Also, leave a like if you found our content informative, and consider subscribing to Always United for latest Manchester United news. Here are 2 more videos, by the way, if you're interested to carry on listening. But until next time, it's been a pleasure serving you guys.